Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, there will come a time in your life when you'll want to give up. That moment when the weight of the world feels like it's pressing down on your chest, when nothing seems to be going your way and you're questioning if it's all even worth it. I know that feeling. We've all been there. But let me tell you something, that very moment when you want to give up, is the moment when you need to press on the hardest. You see, life isn't about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up. It's about the will, the drive, the grit to push forward, even when everything inside you is screaming for you to stop. And trust me, that scream will come. It will whisper to you that you're not good enough, that your dreams are too big, that the path is too hard. But the truth is, that scream is a lie. Failure is not the end, it's a stepping stone. You might fall, but every fall teaches you something new, something powerful, something that will make you stronger the next time around. So when you feel like giving up, when you're standing at that crossroads of quitting or pushing forward, remember this: no one who ever succeeded gave up in that moment. Success doesn't come to those who quit. It comes to those who endure, who persevere, who dig deep and find that fire inside. The world is filled with doubters, filled with people who will tell you you can't. Don't listen to them. Listen to that small voice inside you that says, I can, and I will. That's your voice. That's your power. When you want to give up, don't. Get up, stand tall. Dust yourself off, keep moving forward, because the finish line is just beyond the pain, just beyond the struggle. If you give up now, you'll never know what greatness you could have achieved. But if you keep going, I promise you, you'll discover a strength you didn't even know you had. And one day you'll look back on that moment, the moment when you almost gave up, and you'll smile because you'll realize that was the moment you became unstoppable. The moment you feel like giving up is the exact moment you need to keep going. Every fall, every setback is just a lesson on your journey to success. Success comes to those who keep pushing, even when it's hard, even when it seems impossible. That voice in your head telling you to quit is lying. Ignore it. When you dig deep, you'll find reserves of strength you never knew existed. The race isn't won by the swift, but by those who endure to the end. Don't compare your progress to others. Your path, your struggles, and your success are yours alone. The world will doubt you, but your belief in yourself is what matters most. If it was easy, everyone would do it. The hard times are what shape you into who you're meant to be. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. Your breakthrough could be just one step away. Adversity? That's when life really shows you what you're made of. It's easy to smile when everything's going your way, when the sun's shining and the road ahead looks smooth. But what happens when the storms roll in? When that road turns rough? That's the real test. That's when your true character shows up. You see, anybody can keep going when things are easy. Anybody can stay motivated when they're winning. But the real test, the real measure of a person, is how they handle themselves when life hits back. When life knocks them down and keeps hitting, do they stay down or do they rise up? That's the question. Adversity doesn't come to break you, it comes to build you. It comes to show you just how strong you really are. But here's the thing, it's not going to feel like that in the moment. No, in the moment, it's going to feel like everything's falling apart. You're going to want to throw in the towel, to walk away. But that's when you need to dig deep, to find that inner strength, that fire. Because it's there, even if you can't see it yet. Adversity is life's way of asking, how bad do you really want it? Are you going to crumble at the first sign of struggle? Or are you going to stand tall and keep fighting? Because those moments, those hard moments, are what separate those who want success from those who are willing to work for it. And remember, it's not about avoiding the challenges, it's about embracing them. It's about using them. Each setback, each obstacle is a stepping stone. It's another chance to grow, to learn, to get stronger. You can either let adversity stop you in your tracks, or you can let it fuel your journey. So the next time you face a challenge, don't see it as a roadblock. See it as an opportunity to prove to yourself that you've got what it takes. Because when you overcome adversity, when you come out the other side stronger than before, you'll realize that the struggle was necessary. The struggle made you. Failure. Now that's a word that scares a lot of people. It gets inside your head, makes you feel small, makes you doubt yourself. But let me tell you something, failure is not defeat. Failure is part of the process. It's the road you have to walk to get to success. You see, everybody fails, everybody. The difference between the people who make it and the people who don't isn't whether they failed, it's what they did after they failed. The ones who make it, they don't let failure stop them. No, they learn from it, they get back up, they dust themselves off, and they keep moving forward. Failure is not the end of the road. It's a bend in the road. It's a detour that teaches you something, that shows you what you need to adjust, what you need to work on. And trust me, it's going to happen more than once. But every time it does, you get stronger, you get wiser, you learn how to handle the next obstacle even better. Think about it, when a baby is learning to walk, they fall down over and over again. But nobody calls that defeat. Nobody looks at a baby and says, well, they fell down, guess they'll never walk. No, we know that falling is just part of the process. And it's the same for you. Every time you fail, it's just life teaching you how to succeed. So when you hit that wall, when you stumble, when things don't go the way you plan, don't hang your head. Don't let failure break you. Use it. Learn from it. Because every time you rise after a fall, you're one step closer to where you want to be. The only time failure becomes defeat is when you decide to quit. When you throw in the towel, when you give up, that's when defeat wins. But as long as you're still in the game, as long as you're still trying, failure is just a stepping stone on your way to greatness. So next time you fail, don't see it as the end. See it as the beginning. A new chance to grow, to rise, to push yourself even further. Because failure isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace. It's just another part of the journey to success. And trust me, that journey is worth every stumble. Persistence, that's the secret right there. When life throws you curveballs, when the road gets tough, and you're tired, persistence is what's going to keep you moving. It's not about talent alone, it's not about luck. It's about how bad you want it and how far you're willing to go to get it. See, anybody can start something. Anybody can get excited in the beginning when the dream is fresh, when the goal feels close. But what happens when the excitement fades? What happens when the results don't come right away? That's where persistence comes in. It's easy to be committed when things are going your way, but what about when they're not? That's when persistence separates you from the pack. Success isn't for the faint of heart. It's for the ones who keep showing up day after day, even when it's hard, even when they're discouraged, even when no one is watching. That's the grind, that's the hustle. And let me tell you, persistence doesn't mean you won't get knocked down. Oh, you'll get knocked down more times than you can count. But persistence means you get back up every single time because you're not done yet. It's not about being the best right now. It's about staying in the game long enough to get there. The road to success is paved with people who gave up too soon. They quit because it got too hard, because the dream didn't come fast enough. But the truth is, the people who make it are the ones who refuse to quit no matter how long it takes. You're going to face obstacles, you're going to face rejection. Doors are going to close in your face. But here's the thing, you've got to keep knocking. You've got to keep pushing. Because persistence doesn't just build success, it builds character. It teaches you resilience. It teaches you that nothing worth having comes easy, and that the struggle is part of the journey. So when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you're thinking about walking away, remember why you started. Remember the goal, the dream, the vision, and then keep going. Step by step, inch by inch, no matter how slow the progress feels. Because persistence isn't about moving fast, it's about not stopping. Success doesn't belong to the ones who never failed. It belongs to the ones who never quit. Stay persistent. Keep pushing. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Self-doubt. That little voice in your head that tries to convince you that you're not enough. It whispers in the quiet moments when no one's around, telling you that you don't have what it takes, that you're not cut out for this. And if you let it, that voice will paralyze you. It'll keep you stuck in the same place, afraid to move forward, afraid to try. But here's the thing, self-doubt is the enemy. It's not real. It's a figment of your fears, a creation of your insecurities. And the only power it has is the power you give it. See, the mind is a battlefield, and the fight isn't out there, it's in here, in your head. The moment you start believing that voice, the moment you let it control you, you're defeated before you even begin. That voice doesn't know your potential. It doesn't know what you're capable of. It only knows fear. But you know better. You've been through things, you've overcome challenges before, and you've come out stronger every time. You're still standing, aren't you? That means you've got something inside you that's bigger than that doubt. You've got a strength that self-doubt can't touch. You've got to silence that voice. Every time it tells you you're not good enough, you've got to shut it down. Every time it tries to convince you to play small, to stay in your comfort zone, you've got to remind yourself of who you are and what you're here to do. Self-doubt will try to keep you playing safe, but playing safe has never led to greatness. Playing safe keeps you in the same place while life moves on without you. The truth is, nobody else can believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. You can have all the talent in the world, all the skills, all the resources, but if you don't believe you can do it, none of that matters. Belief is the foundation. It's what keeps you going when the path gets dark. It's what makes you push harder when everyone else tells you to stop. You've got to own your greatness, walk in it. Even if you're not there yet, even if you haven't achieved everything you want, act like you belong. Because you do. Doubt will come. It always does. But the trick is to recognize it for what it is, a distraction, a barrier trying to keep you from your purpose, and then you push past it. Self-doubt can't stop you unless you let it. Don't give it that power. Trust in yourself. Trust in your journey. And when that voice creeps in, telling you all the reasons why you can't, you look it in the eye and say, watch me. You are stronger than you think. And I don't just mean physically, I'm talking about something deeper, something inside you that most of the time you don't even realize is there. Life has a way of testing you, pushing you, making you question everything you thought you knew about yourself. And when those moments come, when everything feels like it's falling apart, that's when you discover the truth. That's when you find out just how strong you really are. See, strength isn't just about how much you can lift or how tough you can act. Real strength is about how much you can endure. It's about how you keep moving forward when everything in you is telling you to stop. It's about getting up one more time after life knocks you down again and again. And the crazy thing is, you don't know how strong you are until you're in that moment. Until you're standing face to face with a challenge that feels bigger than you. That's when your strength shows up. Most people don't even tap into half of what they're capable of. They don't realize that when they're at their breaking point, when they feel like they can't take another step, that's when their true power kicks in. That's when they push past the limits they thought they had. But you've got to trust that it's there. You've got to believe that you have more in you than what you see on the surface. Life is going to test you. It's going to throw obstacles in your way that seem impossible to overcome. But every challenge, every setback is an opportunity to prove to yourself just how much you can handle. And believe me, you can handle more than you think. You've been through hard times before, and you made it through, didn't you? You survived, you grew, and you're still here. That's strength. And if you could get through that, you can get through what's in front of you now. The mind is a powerful thing, but it can also be your biggest enemy if you let it. It'll try to convince you that you're not enough, that you're too weak, too tired, too broken to keep going. But that's not the truth. The truth is your strength goes beyond what you see or feel in the moment. You've got reserves of resilience that you haven't even tapped into yet. But to access that, you've got to keep pushing, keep believing, even when you don't feel like it. There's a fire inside you. Sometimes it's just a flicker. Sometimes it feels like it's about to go out, but it's there. And in your toughest moments, when everything seems to be against you, that's when that fire burns brightest. That's when you find out that you've got what it takes to not only survive, but thrive. So the next time life tries to make you doubt yourself, remember this: you're stronger than you think. You've got more fight in you than you realize. Don't let fear, doubt, or setbacks convince you otherwise. Stand tall, dig deep, and keep pushing forward, because you've got the strength to handle whatever comes your way, even if you don't see it yet. And one day, when you look back on everything you've overcome, you'll realize just how powerful you've always been. Endurance, that's the real key to success. In a world where everybody's looking for the fast track, the shortcut, the easy way out, endurance is what separates the ones who just want to win from the ones who are built to last. Quick wins, they're tempting, right? We all want things to happen now, to see results immediately. But let me tell you something: anything worth having, anything truly meaningful, takes time. And more importantly, it takes endurance. See, quick wins might feel good in the moment. They might give you a little boost, a taste of success, but they don't last. Why? Because real success, the kind that sticks, the kind that changes your life, isn't about what you can get fast. It's about what you can build over time. It's about the grind, the work, the patience. It's about staying in the race long after everybody else has quit. Endurance is about commitment. It's about showing up every single day, even when the results aren't there yet, even when nobody's clapping for you, even when it feels like nothing's happening. That's when you're tested. That's when you have to ask yourself, how bad do I really want this? Because anyone can run fast for a little while. But can you keep running when the road stretches out for miles in front of you and the finish line is nowhere in sight? Here's the thing, overnight success is a myth. People see the moment someone makes it big, but they don't see the years, the struggle, the setbacks, the failures that led up to that moment. They don't see the endurance it took to keep going when nobody was watching, when nobody believed. And that's the part most people aren't willing to do. They want the quick win, but they don't want to put in the years of work it takes to earn it. Endurance is what builds character. It's what gives you the strength to keep going when you're tired, when the journey feels long, when you're tempted to take the easy way out. But the easy way doesn't lead to greatness. The easy way doesn't build legacies. Endurance does. Think about a marathon. The sprinters, they might start out fast, but they burn out quickly. The ones who win the race aren't the ones who started fast. They're the ones who paced themselves, who conserved their energy, who kept their eyes on the long game. That's life. That's success. You're not trying to win a sprint, you're in it for the marathon. And in a marathon, the only thing that matters is who crosses the finish line. So don't get caught up in quick wins. Don't be discouraged if things don't happen overnight. Success takes time. Progress takes time. Endurance is what will carry you through when everyone else has given up. Stay in the race. Keep moving forward, step by step, inch by inch, even when it feels slow. Because the real victory isn't in how fast you get there, it's in the fact that you never stopped. You endured. And that's what will make all the difference in the end. Your journey is unique. You need to remember that, especially when you're out here looking at everybody else's life, their success, their timeline. It's easy to get caught up in the comparisons, thinking you should be further along, thinking you should be where they are. But let me tell you something, your path is yours and yours alone. Nobody else is walking it. Nobody else can. And that's what makes it special. See, too many people spend their lives trying to follow someone else's blueprint, trying to fit into someone else's story. But your story is meant to be different. Your journey isn't going to look like theirs because it's not supposed to. You've got your own lessons to learn, your own obstacles to overcome, your own victories to claim. So stop measuring yourself against someone else's yardstick. Their success doesn't define your potential. You might not be where you want to be yet, but that doesn't mean you're not on the right path. Your journey is taking you somewhere only you are meant to go. Every step you take, every challenge you face, every setback you overcome, it's all shaping you into the person you're supposed to become. So don't rush the process. Don't feel like you need to follow someone else's timeline. You're not late, you're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. There's power in embracing your own journey. When you stop comparing yourself to others and start focusing on your own growth, your own progress, that's when you'll see how far you've actually come. It's easy to get discouraged when you're looking at someone else's finish line and you're still on mile 2. But what you don't see is the struggles they went through to get there. Everybody's got their own challenges. Everybody's got their own race to run. Your journey might take longer than you expected. You might have to take detours. You might face setbacks that knock you off track for a while. But that's okay. Those detours, they're part of the process. They're where you find your strength, where you learn the lessons you need to take the next step. The setbacks, they're not failures. They're just setups for your comeback. And when you get to where you're supposed to be, and you'll realize why your journey was different, why you had to go through the things you went through. Because everything, every twist, every turn, every challenge was preparing you for that moment. So don't compare your path to anyone else's. Don't let someone else's timeline make you feel like you're running out of time. You're on your own journey, and it's unfolding exactly the way it's supposed to. Trust it. Embrace it. Because it's leading you to something that's meant for you and only you. And when you get there, you'll see that it was all worth it. Every step, every struggle, every moment of doubt. It was all part of your unique journey to greatness. Believe in yourself when no one else does. That's the hard truth. There will be times in your life when the world seems to doubt you, when the voices around you say, you can't do it, you're not good enough, or why even bother? It's in those moments when the noise is the loudest and the support feels the farthest away that you've got to dig deep and hold on to your own belief. Because if you don't believe in yourself, who will? You see, confidence isn't something that just appears out of nowhere. It's built brick by brick through every challenge you face, through every time you rise after falling. It's forged in the fires of adversity and strengthened by the battles you fight. And sometimes that belief will have to come from within when nobody else sees your potential. When they're looking at you like you're crazy for dreaming big, that's when you have to double down and prove them wrong. Think about the greats, the legends we look up to. They all had people telling them they couldn't, that they'd never make it. But what did they do? They kept pushing. They kept believing in themselves, even when the world was against them. They knew that self-belief is a powerful force. It's what keeps you going when the odds are stacked against you, when the dream feels out of reach, when everyone else has given up on you. You have to become your own biggest fan, your own loudest cheerleader. Even on days when you're not feeling it, when doubt creeps in, when fear tries to hold you back. You've got to stand in front of the mirror and remind yourself of who you are and what you're capable of. You've got to embrace the belief that you can achieve greatness no matter what others say. When no one else sees your vision, that's okay. Your vision is yours to own. Don't wait for validation. Don't seek approval. Instead, take that doubt and turn it into fuel. Let it drive you. Let it motivate you to work harder, to train longer, to push past your limits. Use it as a reminder that the journey is yours, and it's not about proving anyone wrong. It's about proving yourself right. You'll face obstacles. You'll hit walls. But in those moments, remember, every setback is just a setup for a comeback. And it all starts with believing in yourself. No one can take that away from you. It's yours. So when the world tells you no, you look in the mirror and say, yes, yes, I can. Yes, I will. Believe in yourself fiercely. Hold on to that belief like it's a lifeline, because in the end, it's the only thing that truly matters. Your belief will carry you through the darkest days. It will help you rise above the noise and remind you that you're capable of achieving things that others can't even imagine. So go out there, put in the work, and show them just how powerful self-belief can be. Because when you believe in yourself, when you embrace your potential, you can accomplish anything. And that's the truth. Greatness comes through struggle. Now, I know that sounds tough. It sounds hard, and it is hard. But let me tell you something, there's no shortcut to greatness. There's no easy path. If you're looking for the quick and simple route, you're going to be disappointed. True greatness is forged in the fires of adversity, and it's those struggles that shape you into who you're meant to be. Every single one of us faces challenges. Every one of us goes through hard times, moments that test our resolve, our strength, our will to keep pushing forward. But it's how we respond to those struggles that defines us. When you're faced with difficulty, you can either let it break you or you can use it as a stepping stone to rise higher. And let me tell you, the choice is yours. Struggle isn't just a burden, it's a teacher. It teaches you resilience. It teaches you how to fight back when life knocks you down. It shows you what you're made of. And when you're willing to embrace that struggle, when you're willing to face it head on, that's when you start to see the transformation. That's when you start to grow into the person you're destined to be. Think about the champions, the leaders, the visionaries who've changed the world. They didn't just stumble into greatness, they fought for it. They endured sleepless nights, sacrifices, failures. They faced doubts and criticisms, and they didn't back down. They pushed through the pain and the fear because they understood that greatness isn't handed out. It's earned through hard work and perseverance. So when you find yourself in a tough spot, when everything feels like it's falling apart, remember this, it's in those moments that your character is built. It's in those moments that you discover your true strength. You find out what you're really capable of when you refuse to give up, when you keep pushing even when the odds are stacked against you. Struggle is part of the journey. It's what makes the victory so much sweeter. When you finally achieve your goals after enduring the hardships, that's when you truly appreciate what you've accomplished. You don't just see the result, you see the journey that brought you there. You understand the sacrifices, the late nights, the moments of doubt, and you realize that every single struggle was worth it. So don't shy away from the struggle. Embrace it. Lean into it. Know that every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth, for learning, for becoming stronger. Greatness is on the other side of that struggle. It's waiting for you, but you've got to be willing to fight for it. You've got to be willing to endure, to rise up every time life tries to bring you down. When you come out on the other side of that struggle, you won't just be better, you'll be greater. And that greatness, it's yours for the taking. So step into the struggle, face it with courage, and let it mold you into the extraordinary person you're meant to be. Because greatness doesn't come easy, but when you embrace the struggle, It becomes yours to claim. The finish line is closer than you think. I know it may not feel that way right now. You might be in the thick of it, feeling exhausted, feeling like you're running a race that has no end. You're pushing, you're grinding, and it seems like progress is slow. But let me tell you something, the finish line is often much nearer than we realize, and it's in those moments of doubt that you have to dig even deeper and keep going. See, life is not always a straight path. It's filled with twists, turns, and unexpected obstacles. And just when you think you can't take another step, that's usually when you're on the brink of a breakthrough. When you feel like throwing in the towel, remember that's precisely when you should keep pushing. The journey can feel long, but every step you take brings you closer to that finish line. You've got to trust the process. You've got to have faith that your hard work will pay off. So many people quit right before they reach their goals, thinking they're too far away or that they'll never get there. But if you keep moving forward, if you keep your eyes on the prize, you'll be surprised at how quickly things can change. The struggles, the late nights, the sweat, the tears, it's all part of the journey. And it's all leading you to that finish line. Think about all the times you've been challenged. Think about the moments you wanted to give up, yet somehow you pushed through. Those moments of perseverance have already shown you that you are capable of more than you think. You've made it through tough times before, and you can do it again. And every time you push past those limits, you're building strength, building character, and getting closer to that finish line. Remember, success isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey you take to get there. Each step, each struggle, each moment of doubt is shaping you into who you need to be. The finish line may be closer than you think, but the growth you're experiencing along the way is what will truly prepare you for what lies ahead. So when you feel tired, when you feel like you can't keep going, take a moment to breathe. Look back at how far you've come. Celebrate the progress you've made, no matter how small, and then keep moving forward. The finish line is waiting for you, and you're more equipped to cross it than you realize.